And time now for the PIX panel. So I'm joined by PIX 11 political team, Ayana and Henry Rosoff. Good to have you both here.
Good morning.
So I want to begin first with the talk of the migrant crisis right now, because a lot of attention has been played on Washington. Where's the help? When's it coming? Where's the federal dollars, right? And now people are really talking about congressional senators. What are they doing? So Henry, I know you spoke to Congressman Bowman. I want to play a clip and then we'll talk about it.
Sure.
I mean, we need leadership from President Biden, period. We need that leadership right here in New York State because, you know, New York State is struggling. We're struggling to provide housing and all the supports that the migrants need. So we're going to keep writing, we're going to keep pushing, but we need the president to take a leadership role because here's the thing, Democrats are looking bad right now in New York State, and that's unacceptable when we have to win at least 4 congressional seats to take back the House. So hopefully the president is listening.
A strong statement. Democrats are looking bad heading into an election season.
It's rare to see a federally elected official volunteer such raw, naked political analysis about how bad this is for his own party. We didn't ask him a political question. We said, what's taking so long out of Washington? He just went off on the politics of this. So, and he is very progressive on the ideological spectrum. And so you really have Democrats statewide coalescing around this message of, hey, Mr. President, we need help. And we are finally, circa the end of last week, seeing the federal officials on the ground touring the Roosevelt, the mayor, a hint of hopefulness in that speech where he laid out the $12 billion potential deficit, saying, I think we may finally get something.
Yes, there is a hint of hopefulness, but I still want to point out, we have not heard President Biden clearly say that he believes this is a situation that warrants federal intervention. And so we still do not know where the president stands and if he believes that this is just a situation that should be dealt with on a local and state level.
Yeah, and that's interesting, Ayana, because we had Zach Iscol on, the Office of Emergency Management Commissioner, who said that they want to see, there's a state of emergency. It was interesting to hear the whole difference between state, city, and then a federal disaster declaration as well, because it all comes down to the dollars and what's given.
It does all come down to the dollars and what's given, and here's what I have not yet heard from City Hall. What's their contingency plan? If President Biden does not step in and if he does not send more resources, then what's next? And I think we still haven't heard that from city officials, and they've been asking for help from the president for over a year. So I think that's something that we also need to pay close attention to.
That's a good point.
The mayor was pressed on this very specifically last week. A contingency plan, and he basically said there is not one. He said, we're going to keep doing what we can. It's the morally right thing to do, but services will be cut. Point blank, across the board. Everything. Services will be cut if it goes this way. But he had some, this is where the note of hope comes in. He said, first it was me in my administration kind of saying, hey, let's get some help. Now it's all the Congress people. Now it's getting a little bit national. The governor of Massachusetts declared her own statewide state of emergency. So that's where the hope comes from. So he says it's plan A, B, C, D, E is asking for help.
Yeah. So that's to be continued, obviously, because I feel like we're going to be talking about this for quite some time. It's not going to end by the time we talk about this next week. I want to move on to Rikers Island right now, because that's once again back in the headlines, getting a lot of news about this federal takeover. Right? Full disclosure, like I said earlier, we're taping this on a Thursday. City council members toured the jail. They had a big hearing on this, noting that progress is being made. But then you have advocates who are saying, well, no, we still want it shut down. We still want the federal takeover. What's going to happen?
So I will say, on both sides of the political spectrum, people are acknowledging that progress has been made from Rikers Island, but there's still some serious issues. The most recent Federal Monitor report detailed an incident of guards standing by watching inmates beat someone. So there are some serious concerns. But I will say the judge overseeing this case, she has been extremely cautious in taking that step and moving towards a federal receiver. The judge has been, advocates have been trying to send messages to this judge through the media, through rallies, through press conferences for over a year now. But this judge really does seem very hesitant to give control over to the federal government, and she's continued to try and give the city as many opportunities as possible. I mean, moving to a federal receiver would be a major fundamental shift for the city, for the jails, and this judge is really being very, very cautious in taking that
and the mayor doesn't want that to happen.
Takes it.
Because the mayor said, I can fix it, and I want to be able to do so. If you take it away from him, he's make him look bad. However, I did ask the mayor and his team once, saying, if you took it away, wouldn't that allow you to have more time and to focus on things like the migrant crisis? There we are. But we'll see how this all plays out. I do got to get in congestion pricing because we teased it here. Lot of people requesting exemptions. Over 100. Everybody wants an exemption, right? The MTA says it has over 100 requests. Do any of these have a leg to stand on, Henry? When you take a look at all of the exemptions, he's saying, well, if I give them to everybody, then we're going to have to keep it at $23.
The statute really only lays out very narrow exceptions based on income, based on accessibility needs. The MTA has already indicated that many of these will be denied, although they will get full consideration. So I would say be prepared to be disappointed if you're lobbying for an exemption.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, the MTA said we need this funding. This is all meant to help us improve transit. And so the more exemptions they give, the harder it will be to get that funding.
All three of these topics are big to be continued.
Yes.
Ayana, Henry, good to have you both of you as always. Great reporting as always.